What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Monday, January 3rd. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter, @Josh Engleman. It's the only place you're going to get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. Let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. And finally, shout out to No House Advantage for being the presenting sponsor of this video. Use the promo code Awesemo when signing up to get up to $25 on your first deposit. Now we're rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Hamidou Diallo, Terrence Mann, Bradley Beal, Naz Reid, and Trey Lyles on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. In first at number 5, we've got shooting guard small forward eligible Anthony Edwards. He's 8,200, projected for 47. The goal is 50, and he's in the optimal lineup 26% of the time. Edwards is going to do basically anything that he wants to do with no D'Angelo Russell and no Karl Anthony Towns on the floor with him. 1.3 fantasy points per minute in this spot, 36 minutes, 35% usage. 29 real points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 2 stocks. Pace neutral against the Clippers. Clippers starting to get a couple guys back, but a little dinged up still. No Paul George, no Kawhi Leonard, which we know. Anthony Edwards just has a massive scoring ceiling here today with no Russell, no Towns, and getting shooting guard small forward makes it even easier, so I am going to Anthony Edwards. At number 4, I'm off to Portland. Anfernee Simons, point guard, shooting guard eligible, 3,700, projected for 27. The goal is 31. He's in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. I gave him 30 minutes. I think he could conceivably play slightly more here. We've got no Damian Lillard. We've got no CJ McCollum, likely no Yusuf Nurkic, and a couple other guys, but they're missing the 2 head honchos. 0.9 fantasy points per minute for Simons in this spot. 23% usage. He just gets a bump when those guys aren't around. 16.5 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, maybe a stock. Slight pace down spot against Atlanta, but if Simons is playing 30 minutes, sub 4K, he's one of the best plays of the day. In at number 3, we're staying in Portland. Norm Powell, shooting guard, small forward, eligible, 6K, projected for 38. The goal's 40.5. He's in the optimal lineup 29% of the time. I gave him 36 minutes. He could play slightly more in a competitive game. He's going to be the focal point of the offense, or at least you would expect that. It's around a fantasy point per minute. 29% usage with no Dame and no CJ. 26 real points, 4 boards, 3 assists, a stock and a half. Same pace down spot for Simons, but that's not what we're talking about here. When there's no Dame and CJ, Norm Powell is a completely different player. But right now, he's priced as if Dame and CJ are playing. So load up on Norm Powell. Load up on the Portland Trailblazers, if we're being perfectly honest. In at number 2, we've got the returned Reggie Jackson, point guard eligible, 6K, projected for 37. The goal is 40. He's in the optimal lineup 30% of the time. I gave him 34 minutes here against Minnesota. Pace up spot. Not the best defense in the world either. Reggie Jackson is going to be 1.1 or pretty close to 1.1 fantasy points per minute. No Paul George means Reggie Jackson takes a big bump. 28% usage, 22 real points, 5.5 assists, 4.5 rebounds, a stock. What's not to like here? Once again, it's just another guy that's thrust into a much bigger role with guys off the floor, and he's still priced as if he should be the other guy. So Reggie Jackson is probably going to be 7K in the next week. Get in now while you can. Now, before we hit that number 1 contender, one last reminder to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter, @Josh Engleman. Let me know in the comments who are your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. And one last reminder, go check out No House Advantage and use the promo code Awesemo when you sign up. It's not fun, but we got to do it. Number 1 contender today is Dennis Smith Jr. I'm assuming he starts at the point guard spot for the Blazers today with no Dame and no CJ. 4K, projected for 33. The goal is 32, and he's in the optimal lineup 41% of the time. I gave him 30 minutes. It can very easily be more. 1.1 fantasy points per minute, neutral usage, so 20%. Gave him 12 points, 7 assists, 5 boards, 2.5 stocks. Whether it's Dennis Smith Jr., Anfernee Simons, Norm Powell, you don't have much of a choice. You're going to a lot of Portland. But for right now, Dennis Smith Jr. is your number 1 contender. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Monday, January 3rd. DraftKings version of this video is around here somewhere. Check it out. Good luck tonight, everybody. Win some money. We're back again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.